Hello everyone, I am Monica from IELTS 9. So here I am going to discuss this question statement, IELTS Writing Task 2, that was part of 11th May 2023 IELTS academic exam. Okay, so let's do this question statement. Many historical sites and museums are mainly visited by tourists and not local people. So actually this is true. Local people usually they don't prefer to visit museums and historical buildings again and again. So why is this case? So we need to find out the reasons why people are not visiting to these museums and historical buildings, and what can be done to attract local people to visit these historical sites and museums. So what suggestion or what government can do, what individuals can do, what any voluntary society or organization can do. So these kinds of things we will be discussing in this essay. So we have read this statement. You can read it 2-3 times more. And we know this is two-part question. Direct they have asked you this question and second question this. It means in body paragraph 1 you will be explaining the reasons for this, and you will be explaining what suggestions can be done to attract local people to visit these historical museums. Okay, now let's plan this essay. It's very important. Now how to plan? So just spare only 5 minutes to just planning of this essay. So first we have I have already read 2-3 times with you here. So whenever you are getting question statement, please read 4 times at least to analyze the statement. Now after that you have to take out the main topic. So what is the main topic? Please read it, and then definitely just think about the main topic. So main topic: many historical sites are mainly visited by tourists, not by local people. So main topic is museums and historical places not visited by locals, but tourists are visiting most. Okay, this is the main topic. But main topic is this, but we will talk about only why the reasons, what are the reasons for this trend, and what are the solutions we can give. Solution for bringing more local visitors for these museums. Okay, suggestion or okay. Now we have read, we have analyzed, we have taken out the main topic, and we know that this is reasons we have to write in one paragraph, body paragraph 1, and solutions body paragraph 2. Okay, now let's brainstorm the ideas what we are going to give reasons in this. Now what do you think? So what may be the reasons why visitors are not visiting to? First of all, you can say they already, just a minute, they already know the history of that place, means historical place, because this is their birthplace. Since childhood they are listening to these stories and all. Second thing, we can say here, all the time they are busy with their routine, daily routine. They don't have time. They don't have time, no time to visit these places. Okay, and moreover they think that it is a wastage of time, because they know everything from their childhood. Wastage of time, and you can combine these 2 points in one point. Okay, now another important point I can say, because some museums are having higher charges, or you can say high ticket entry charges. You can rate high ticket rates. Okay, so this we can always give, and now of course why tourists are so tourists, if you ignore tourists if you ignore this tourist point of view, definitely you will not get bands. You will be penalized for task response. So everything should be covered in the essay. Now you have to talk about tourists also. Why they always visit these museums? Because they are on their holiday mood, and they would like to know about the history of that place where they are visiting. They have time, they are on holiday mood actually. That's why they try to visit these places, museums and historical buildings. Okay, now coming to solutions. What solutions we can do? What solutions we can just suggest to to the writer? So first, definitely I will go with government. Government can arrange some cultural events or programs, okay, to attract more public from local city. This government can do. And cultural program or events, even prize also they can announce. Prizes also they can announce for these cultural events participation. Okay, next thing government can do, so they can reduce or give discounts on tickets. So just always frame your story like that. Discounts on tickets rates during weekends. Okay, so yeah, volunteers also they can help. Volunteers also they can help by different campaigning on social media to visit local museum. And plus posters, they can stick posters on vehicles to draw more attention from local folks. Okay, so these points I have just brainstormed. I was just writing and explaining it. That's why it's almost 8 minutes I have taken for planning of this essay. Okay, so now another important point is, when you have read the question statement, of course historical sites, so always think some synonyms for the important keywords from the question statement. Like for historical sites we can write historical buildings, historical places, and some important things, historical forts, castles you can write. And for museums you can write museum buildings or museum exhibition halls. You can write different words. And tourist, domestic as well as international tourists, and not local people, like local visitors, local folks. You can write persons from dwellers from city. So you can use these words. Okay, now this we know, this is reasons and this is suggestions. Second question is reasons and suggestion. So this is the type of question. Now let's look at the format of this essay. Now what is the structure we should follow? Introduction means 3-sentence formula. You can watch my videos for 3-sentence formula. First is general background statement, means what do you understand by historical museums. And historical buildings are a place where one can go, one can find the history of that place, of that city. General statement or sentence about the topic. Second is paraphrasing of question statement. Third is outline statement, what you are going to write in your further paragraphs. Okay, BP1 means we know 2-part question here. Okay, just a minute, I will show it to you. In BP1 we will be writing, first question means they have asked us reasons. 3 reasons at least, explain 3 points with one example. BP2, you have to suggest suggestions how it can be done, what can be done to attract local people to visit these sites. Suggestions, here also you can give 3 suggestions, and conclusion, whatever you have written, you can just restate the topic. So you must be wondering why my writing is too bad. So while writing it, my writing is too bad. So but when I am writing it slow, like a little, not very slow, then I can write it better. Okay, now coming to the introduction, how I have written it. Now let's read the question statement again. Many historical sites and museums are mainly invited by tourists, not by local. So why is this case? What can be done to attract local people? Always just try to fix the problem, fix the question statement in your mind, and whenever you are writing something, any new sentence, please in your mind read the statement again. Okay, now what I have written, you can see this. Historical places and museums are the best sites to know the past of any nation or a city. So these are the best sites, best places to know the past of any nation. And then, however, so now coming to the main, are visited by tourists, not by local people. Now this is the reality. However, the local people show less interest in visiting. So this is visiting spelling, somehow it was VISTING, these valuable buildings. In my view, there are several factors responsible. No, I have not explained this. That I have forgot, because and these places are mostly visited by tourists, so you have to write this line also. So I will just write it, and these from here, and these places are visited by international as well as domestic tourists to know the history of the place. So that I have forgotten while writing, when I was writing it. So these things we have to cover it. Now in my view, there are several factors responsible, means reason for this development, and governments along with local volunteers can take steps to encourage locals to visit. So this is my introduction. One line is missing, that was relating to tourists only, they are visiting to these places. So please add this line before this line. This is my introduction, you can see this. Now coming to body paragraph 1. Now body paragraph 1, we are going to write this case. Why is this the case? Means reasons for tourists are visiting only to these places, not local people. So we will be discussing this also and this also for visiting this. Okay, so let's read it. To commence with, of course I have started with some connector, or if you want to remove this, you can just remove it. Local folks are already aware about the historical facts, what we have discussed in the body paragraph 1, that I will show it to you. Know the history of that place, because that is their birthplace. Busy with daily routine. So how I have used this, aware about, local folks are already aware about the historical facts of their own birthplace. People are bored visiting such places, hence they avoid. So I have given some point here, and I am giving the result. Hence they avoid visiting these historical places to explore new things. They also visit to other places. Whenever they are going on holiday, they also visit to other places, but not these historical buildings. So on the contrary, I am writing about tourists. On the contrary, outside visitors in the city tends to explore new facts about the past events and how it was created in these museums, in these museum buildings. Okay, always I add it. Okay, now I am not using anything. When a visitor, so this is just when a visitor visits to a new place, so we are just taking it as an example. New place, he will always try to go to cities museum and historical forts and gardens, okay, which will help him to explore new chapters of history, which will help him to explore new chapters of history. So my first point about local people, second point on the contrary about outside tourists, and again I am taking it as an example of a single visitor. If he is visiting to new place, he will always try to go to city museum, which will help him to explore new cities, chapters of history. Okay, now another third reason that we have discussed over here, you can see higher charges of ticket. Okay, so let's read it. So on top of it means my last point, museums charge high entrance fees, which can be a major deterrent to locals. These places charge high entrance fees, which can be a major deterrent to locals. If a person, now I am using this conditional sentence. This is also important. I capital. If a person visits the local museum by paying, he will not visit it again to see the same works of art, text written and text. So many things they have written in text with written in the building. So that is the thing. Okay, you can conclude. So these are the reasons responsible for not visiting local people. You can always you can always write it at the end. So these were the reasons. Therefore, you can start the sentence with therefore these are the reasons responsible for, simple sentence is also important to write, responsible. Okay, so complete the sentence please. I am not completing it here, you can complete it yourself. Now coming to body paragraph 2. Now in second body paragraph, what we have planned, government can arrange some cultural events to attract more. So in your exam, no need to write full sentences. I was just writing it to show you how to generate ideas. But so government, you can write the word government and government cultural events to attract people, and prizes also you can write, reduce of you can write, give discounts, volunteers. These words, simple words you can write and frame the sentences, but I have written it full sentences, so you should avoid it. But I was explaining you in video, that's why I have written almost full of sentences. Now coming to body paragraph 2. To attract more local people, governments can take steps to encourage common people to visit museums and historical locations. Firstly, the city's local lawmakers, or but in my country we are saying that local government, we are saying municipal corporation. So in other countries I don't know what they call it, that's why I am not using that word. I am using simple word. Firstly, the city's local lawmakers or higher authority, that is much better word for that, can organize regular cultural programs, or may, you can use it here, can or may, or should also you can use it, cultural programs in these places, so that every time they visit, they means locals. I can cut it because I have not used the word local, that's why. Locals visit local people. Local people can have new experiences. So another significant thing, the higher governments, if you want, you can explore more ideas, because what are cultural events, and you can add some prizes can also be announced in these cultural programs, those who will participate in these programs, kind of thing. So you can always expand this point also. So another significant point, the higher governments can offer some discounts on weekends for local people, for locals, so that full families can visit and enjoy the museums. Okay, for instance, now this is my example. In Italy, Most of the museums have 1 day free visits for every local people, which attracts, so this is not full stop, by mistake it had done, which attracts most of the museums, which attract a lot of domestic visitors. Okay, lastly, my last point, lastly, city volunteers should run some campaigns on social media and social media groups, as well as by this is by, not be, by pasting some posters on their vehicles to draw attention of local dwellers, which can encourage local city people to visit to the historical buildings. Therefore, a joint effort is needed to attract people from local place. Okay, so now coming to conclusion. So again, you can see my body paragraph 2. You can see this. Always write your points as a story kind of thing. Then definitely when you will enjoy your writing and reading, then your level will be different. Now coming to the conclusion point of view, you can see in conclusion, locals do not, so I am restating the topic. Locals do not like to visit historical sites because of costly tickets and already know the facts. But outside, tourists are more eager to visit these. Yes, now it is clear. Locals do not like to visit historical sites because of costly tickets and already know the facts, but outside, tourists are more eager to visit these museums to gain knowledge about the place. So that is the fact. We have paraphrased the statement. To solve this attitude of locals, government can adopt certain measures by running interesting events based on cultural ideas. Okay, so this conclusion is sufficient, or you can use another sentence structure also. Although sentence structure, while sentence structure also, you can use it in conclusion also. Thank you so much. So how we have brainstormed the ideas about the topic, that is more important. Planning is more important, that's I want to say here.